end up is taking money from me.
How long ago was that?
That was like a year ago.
Oh, a year ago.
Ethan fails to mention the terrifying reason behind Judy's concerning phone calls to her ex-husband, but that will be revealed shortly.
You think that both your mom and your dad are kind of real dramatic? They kind of...
My mom, she's depressed. And I'm pretty sure that she was on the scale. But I mean, I couldn't, she was at least on the scale by the way she acted. I knew it, but.
Parents. Sometimes it's tough, man, being 16 and getting along with your parents all the time, isn't it? I remember.
Well, I don't,
I remember being grounded for a year.
Back in those days, that's what the parents did. They take a swing at you until you learn how to catch that hand. And it's like, you catch that hand, they ain't got no power to do it.
Ethan claims that he can't remember the last time that he and Judy got into an argument. He states that recently they've been getting along. However, his definition of a harmonious relationship may be drastically different than that of his mother's.
I was talking to my stepmom about getting in with someone because my therapist, I can't see him every week. I rarely ever see him every 2 weeks if I'm lucky. But, he says to me, my dad, I'm like, well, I'd like to, get in with someone that's, every week. And my dad's like, well, we could just do 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. Be a lot less cheap. I was ready to slap that. I swear to God, that stuff doesn't even work. He plays music at bars to get a little extra cash. The money that's made, it's made all by the wife. And I already know when I went in there, he already thought that I did that. That I was the one that did that. I could tell. I didn't even know.
Tell by the way he talked to you, the look on his face.
I didn't look at him, man.
You didn't look at him at all?
No. I was trying to hold up vomit, trying, bawling my eyes out and stuff. I seen dead people. I ain't never seen dead people in real life. Before I left, I covered up my mom. I started to wash out the walls, but as there's too much. It was a big too splatter. I put the dog and the cat in her room. I mean, the dog and cat were already in her room, but the dog was shaking. The cat, I saw her. She's usually in that room, but she was in the weight room because she's on fright and stuff. I put her in there and we had some stuff full of dog food and cat food, and I just dumped it on the floor, filled out some water stuff, put a candle in there, and just close the door, try not to light. I was scared. I started getting blood. Just covered it up. Just took that up.
There's a strange, sudden change in his speech patterns here, almost like a different person is talking. This is probably more normal speech for Ethan, and his other speech patterns have been him acting like a character modeled on Bateman. It's an unnerving display and perfectly demonstrates the way that a psychopath can be a chameleon, mimicking mannerisms and gestures that aren't inherent to themselves. Ethan states that he used a couple of wash rags to wipe the blood off the walls, but it's still extremely suspicious that he even cleaned part of the crime scene before going to his dad's house.
Get anything else out of that house or anything like that?
I grabbed the one thing that I know my mom always takes with her cigarettes.
You scared?
Okay, it's scared. I saw my neighbor, one of my guys, one of my neighbors, he saw me, but kind of try to play it off like he didn't see me. But, I knew he was going to turn a certain way, or if he didn't, I can at least duck under some brush because I knew he would, question it all, go back on me and stuff. So I just walk.
How did you feel when you were inside the house?
Apparently, on January 25th, 2007, while Ethan's neighbor was driving around at 1:30 in the morning, he spotted Ethan walking along the street. According to police documents, he shouted Ethan's name out of his car window. It was loud enough to where there was no doubt that Ethan could hear him. However, the teenager kept walking.
Are you ready to learn the secret to cheap Canadian cannabis? At Bloom Supply, we're more than just an online...
How do you feel right now?
Angry. I don't want to take care of do that.
Sad.
Yeah.
You feel bad for your mom. You feel bad for yourself.
It's horrible.
This officer is really doing a much better job with Ethan. He's much more relaxed and there are no major signs of anxiety.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why everyone keeps on doing this.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're the only one there, and we're just trying to understand. He said, "Is there something to me, man? Tell me what's going on. Do what you're thinking.
If I really wanted to,
Do what you're thinking right now."
wouldn't I put her out of her misery in the easiest possible way?
I don't know. I mean, maybe
I
it's
mean,
something.
truly, wouldn't you?
But what would that way be? What would be the
I
easiest
don't know.
possible way?
Not the way she went.
Okay, what would be the easiest
I
possible way?
don't know.
I can't think of anything that would be to put her out of her misery in an easy way.
No, I know. It's gone.
Do you guys have guns in the house at all?
I have some airsoft guns. It's not loaded.
Yeah, guns, real guns and stuff. Yeah, knives, hunting knives and stuff like that.
I got in one of my cases. I got a dull butterfly knife.
Who do you think did it?
I don't know. Because
It's a terrible thing that happened to your mom. I mean, like you said, she
I
didn't
wish it
deserve
would
it.
have happened to me.
It didn't. But let's think about,
They,
how terrible this was to your mom.
they had a knife.
Okay.
I don't have knives I couldn't see this person. It was dark. I know they had a knife.
Okay.
And I know it's long.
Long.
It's a longer knife
Okay.
than any of the ones I have. But he made me. The one knife that is semi-sharp. Wait a minute.
Why do you do that?
No. Make it look like I did it. It's my way. It's my knife. I mean, truly. Check it out. I mean, truly. Because I don't even know. They're probably not going to be nothing on cameras. Or I don't know.
Did they make you do that to put her out of her misery?
No, she was dead by that time.
Oh, then before you put the knife in her head, she was already dead?
Yeah,
Okay.
she was already dead. But
Your knife, what kind of knife was it?
it's a small Winchester.
Ethan claims to have got the knife from his father, and he states that he keeps it in his bedroom at his mother's house.
The only thing I can show that it wasn't me is, look how deep the knife cuts were. That knife couldn't do deep knife cuts.
Too dull to do the deep knife?
Well, no. I mean, it's not dull.
I mean, lengthwise.
Lengthwise, that's what I'm saying.
So the blade on a knife isn't long enough to do all
I
that.
don't know. I mean, truly, that's the only way. I mean, if cameras show something different, I don't know what to do, man.
What? So all you did with that knife was stick it in her head?
Yeah, maybe.
How far into her head did it go?
don't know, he made me just watch it, you know, he had a knife at me.
Where at on her head?
When he cracked her skull, there was a brain that was, I don't know what it was.
Okay, where'd you stick the knife in at?
Well, he cracked it around here, man. So her eye was closed, but you could see that she still had the eyes, but you know, you could see inside. It made me lodge it, just put it in there.
Inside her brain? Or did it stick inside the skull, or was it?
Inside the brain, because it must have been cracked, because there was blood everywhere.
She loved you. I mean, that's
I loved her, man.
I know you did. I know you did.
It might have been my brother, I don't know. But, you know, earlier, I'm sure it wasn't, because earlier, you know, she went out to get with him to buy groceries for him, so you know, he gave him money. I don't know.
During the afternoon of Wednesday, January 24th, just before her death, Judy, her son Mason, and his girlfriend went grocery shopping together around 6 p.m. Following their errand run, Judy made her way back to her house, while Mason and his girlfriend departed for their home. Once they arrived, Mason realized that they had accidentally taken some of Judy's food, and he quickly drove to her house. According to police documents, Mason only saw Ethan at the house, but not his mother. It's unclear as to what time this took place. However, Mason left the residence thinking nothing of the situation. Little did he know he would never see his mother again.
Listen, you know, what I'm talking about is being able to say everyone in this world does things that you look back on and say, I don't know why.
But I didn't do it.
Ethan, you and I both know there was another person in that house. Listen,
I'm...
Ethan, listen.
Man, just hug me and books me.
You know that, okay? We know that.
I know you don't. I do. I know the truth. I was there. I saw her face.
Wow.
There's a delay with his illustrators here. His words come out before his hands hit the table, which is another instance of brain and body misalignment.
But I didn't do it.
Ethan seems to resort to aggression when he's angry and emotional. He may have been having an emotional moment here, and then it's like a switch is flipped. This is a red flag indicating that when he gets angry, he may not be able to control his impulses. He seems very used to using his size and aggression to intimidate and control others. Like his mother, the officer handles this perfectly by not even seeming to blink and stands his ground. But he also doesn't push, just allows Ethan to react and show more of who he really is.
I didn't do it. You want me to spell it out? Here, give me paper. I'll write it out for you. I'll write it out for you. You ready? No. It's not even a question. A little bit on there. 2 go. 4. What's that? You smoke? That's all. You got a wife? Kids? No. Why not? I have 2 dogs. 2 dogs. And then a wife and kids. But you know we're all put on this earth to reproduce.
Better than you.
It's just the way it is.
Ethan turns dark here as he maintains unwavering eye contact with the detective. The teenager's intimidation tactics are like those of someone much older and far more experienced at victimizing others. He inquires about the detective's personal life, but the detective leaves before Ethan can berate him any further. While he's waiting, Ethan begins a string of odd behavior.
Dances and the charming songs, but when I'm there, some things wrong. Next to me in the rest of the letter, she looks more the black shirt, or at least for that razor shirt.
Finally, the detective re-enters the room where Ethan appears to have calmed down.
He woke up and went in to that meal comes out loud tongue. He went in and saw this guy in the mom's room. So it was real dark and he couldn't make out who it was or anything, but that he had stabbed your mother, right? He said she had, okay, so he had a knife. Had aimed at you. Okay. And what did he do with that?
Before routine, don't move,
Right.
don't come near here, don't
Don't come in here.
come near here, you can move it, we're gonna kill you.
Ethan claims that he has no idea what the person looked like, but he alleges that it could have been his brother, Mason.
Makes me go to my room. My knife is in my room,
Makes you go to your room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grabs that,
He grabbed that knife.
makes me grab the knife.
Winchester.
The Winchester, does that. Makes me want to watch. Says, I'm looking for some money.
Did you look for some money?
Take a car. I look in her backpack. I just kind of throw around. She has a purse that I know has money, but I didn't find it. So, I was surprised that he was gone.
So he came back and he was gone.
I mean, yeah, that really told me to not. Just said, that's like, oh, man, I didn't I don't know if I can find some money, otherwise, I don't know my life, I didn't find money.
So go back and knock on the door.
Knocking, I'm not open the door cautiously.
When you came back inside, were you afraid of this guy? How come you didn't run out the garage door?
Not bad.
Yeah, just run right out the back garage door.
Man, I wasn't even equipped. I didn't have no clothes.
You're taking.
No, I mean, I had like some shorts and t-shirt. I didn't have no gear at all.
Could you have run over to some friend's house or something like that to call police and say there's a man in my house?
When he's confronted with something, Ethan keeps saying, yeah, but. He's trying to weakly justify what he did, and the detective is slowly poking more and more holes in his story.
What would prompt you to go back inside?
Huh?
What would prompt you to go back inside with a guy with a knife?
To comply with them, to get killed.
Okay, but you were out in the garage with the door closed. He couldn't kill you if you were out.
Yeah, but I mean, he locked the door. Just knock when you find some money. Find some money, I wasn't even playing on games.
The detective is likely under the impression that Ethan's spinning a complete lie. However, he doesn't want to outright confront him again, seeing how the teenager's emotions can go from one extreme to the next.
Why didn't you change the message on the phone?
Why? Because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't want anyone, coming over to our house. or calling, because I tried to find her cell phone, I couldn't find it, but I didn't want no one coming over to our house.
Why did you want to come over your house?
Or anywhere, no. To see that, come over by surprise, by accident. So, if they call ahead, or if her work calls, or if my school calls, that's the message they get. We're out somewhere else. Because I was just walking the streets. I didn't know where I was going to go at first.
Strangely enough, following his mother's gruesome death, Ethan decided to change the voice message on the answering machine for their home phone.
Hey, this is the Wyndham residence. If you're trying to reach me or Ethan, we're actually out in Washington right now. Having a couple of family problems, so we had to take a trip out there. I'm sure we'll be getting back by next week. Bye.
But this was only one of 2 messages that Ethan made. In another chilling recording, we're able to hear what he sent to one of his friends the same night his mother died.
I'll talk to you guys later, so I'll call you if I'm feeling any better. Otherwise, don't call you, don't. You feel like crap, alright? That, it was probably if you want, come over and stuff. Sorry to call this late, but, otherwise, I ain't gonna be able to call you in the morning. Well, see ya.
The messages are cause for suspicion, to say the least, but the disturbing fact lies in their similarities to the movie American Psycho. During the film, after murdering one of his victims, Patrick Bateman changes their answering machine, stating that they would be out of town. After taking the lives of several other victims, he calls his secretary, informing her that he would not be coming into work the next day. The eerie resemblance between Ethan's behavior and the film character's actions have authorities extremely on edge as they brace themselves for what's about to come next.
How did your ski gloves get all bloody? Ethan, this guy, he said he's smaller than you, and you've got a knife in your hand, and this whole time inside the house, and you never once try to take him off. You never once. I mean, he's a smaller guy than you, and you're a big, strong
It's a
guy.
big knife. Besides, if he's got one at me, man, I ain't gonna take no chances. I did one wrong move, he can just slice me for that.
How do you think this guy got into your house?
I have no idea. There's multiple ways.
Like what? Name one.
He can get into the back, he can get into windows. Our backyard, a lot of our windows don't have grates. Our back window, our front window don't have grates. Those open maybe a tidbit. You can just move over and get inside.
Think there's any explanation for this?
I mean,
Some unknown person coming into your house and doing this?
if they're on drugs, sure, they're on drugs. And you guys said, your narcotics team is in there. It could just be, one.
People on drugs don't just randomly pick a house and go in there and do
Yeah,
this.
but they've been, they know where I live. And, they've seen me around my other buddy.
Ethan is again saying "you know," which is another sign of deception, because he's trying to convince the detective. A question that he never really answers at this point is why he didn't try to attack or stop the person who killed his mom. The officer does a good job getting him to admit he knows how to fight and take care of himself, which is a great way to confront this inconsistency in his story.
There's a reason. You and I just can't come to an understanding.
Didn't tell me your reason.
I don't know the reason, Ethan. That's why I want to talk to you. That's why I keep talking to you, Ethan.
Ethan's attempt to put on an innocent facade is masking an array of dark and twisted secrets. But little does he know, authorities are learning new information as they speak. Judy's best friend has plenty to say about the disturbed 16-year-old.
He bullied her, and she said, he scares me. She said that. I'm not making it up. And that's what I told her. I said, you know, it's not normal to be afraid of your own kid. And I said, he needs his ass kicked, is what I said. And I said, we can arrange that. But, you know, she's my best friend, and I don't want him to be hurt or anything, and neither did she. I don't think she wanted him to hate her any more than he already did, which is sad because she was the only one that did anything for him ever.
How did she spend her time after school?
She slept. Depressed people do that a lot. She didn't like to do things in her house. I know she was out in her backyard turning over the dirt, and I said, well, are you going to plant grass? Or she was, no, I was just digging. I'm like, okay. And she walked a lot.
Did she say why she liked to be outside so much?
You know, now I look back and I think, well, it's probably she didn't want to be in the house with Ethan, and, you know, that stress, that tension, and cut it with a knife. Even when I go over there, it's an uncomfortable feeling.
Apparently, Ethan's concerning behavior had drastically escalated during the course of the previous year. The once quiet teenager was transforming into someone completely different. He reportedly became abrasive while puffing his chest out at everyone. Not only that, but according to police documents, Ethan was supposedly using various substances, though this has never been confirmed. In an anonymous statement given to authorities, one of Ethan's assumed-to-be friends stated that he'd apparently taken some of his pills to a party. There he allegedly handed them out to other students, the reason being so that the partygoers could snort them, and the behaviors yet again mimicked those of Patrick Bateman. During the course of the story, Patrick's dismissiveness, substance use, and aggression all increased in intensity, much like Ethan's alleged recent conduct. But that wasn't all. One of Judy's neighbors recalled the roaring arguments that could be overheard at Judy's residence. They stated that the altercation seemed to have recently leveled off. However, Judy apparently expressed her feelings of terror to them in regard to her youngest son. Despite her fear, Judy never gave up on working towards a better relationship with Ethan, but he was not so willing. In fact, Ethan's rage was supposedly morphing into horrifying acts of violence against his own mother. He'd allegedly hit Judy at one point, although the incident isn't clearly explained. According to police documents, he would reportedly go so far as throwing her against a wall during an argument before spitting in her face.
Every planet except one, which is the Pyramid Planet. There is a planet that's a pyramid, the shape of it.
According to one anonymous statement, Ethan reportedly claimed, "I hate my mom, I want to kill her." In addition, police would learn that Ethan apparently told his brother that Judy would eventually get what she deserved.
She had no control. He had no discipline. I thought, before I heard the weapon thing earlier that day, I thought, you know, I bet he just snapped. They were arguing or something, and he just snapped and beat the crap out of her.
Judy was living in constant fear, yet she still wanted nothing but the best for her child, and everyone could see that but Ethan. He wouldn't be satisfied until he got exactly what he wanted, even if it meant committing the unthinkable.
One would come into your house and sneak around and go to your weight room. I mean, how would anyone know where your weights are?
If they come to that window, then you just found the weights.
Okay, so if you were gonna come into someone's house and you happen upon these weights and you manipulate these weights to use as a weapon, what would make you pick those weights up from the room that you're already in, go into an adjoining room, or not an adjoining room, but another room, and then manipulate those weights in another room before going out into the hallway. See, Nathan, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I think
It sounds like someone who lives there. Great big guy like you, big strong guy sitting in a chair in the living room, and your small little mother sleeping in her bed, and this guy comes into the house with a weight and manipulates this weight in your room as a weapon, and then comes out of the room. Why would he choose your mother over you? Aren't you the threat to him?
I don't know.
Aren't you the big
Man,
guy?
why are you asking me these questions? How am I supposed to think of it in his way? I'm not this guy.
Because you're the one who's telling me this.
I'm telling you
You're the one who's telling me what happened.
as about as much as I can figure. If you guys have got some other explanation, maybe he didn't. Maybe he changed the weights in that room. I don't know. I don't know. All I can do is assume. But that's about it.
No, I don't think you're assuming. I think you know. And that's why you're
Like
telling
I
me
know.
this.
Like I
That's
know.
why you would know that you pick the weight up from one room, take it into another room, use the bed so it doesn't make a sound.
All I can tell you is I'm speculating. Man,
Some guy's going to come in and rob you, that already has a knife, is going to take the time to manipulate a weight, and now he has a weight and a knife.
what happens if you don't stand the person in the right spot?
They don't die.
That's right. They make noise. Man, I'm only speculating. Okay, what are you guys doing? See, I could just say the same thing about you. You know, everything you're telling me. How do I know you didn't do this?
Because I can tell you where I was at. So, and it wasn't at your house.
Ethan begins another attempt at deflection, but the detective doesn't play his game. Instead, he questions Ethan about a most unsettling topic.
My question for you is, a guy who studies these psychology books that you have,
Yeah.
and these crime scene evidence books that you have, and all these videos.
What crime scene evidence books?
Crime scene investigation books in your room,
What crime scene investigation books?
and the videos that you have,
No, what crime scene investigation books?
the one that's in your room.
I got one forensic book that I never read. You want to know who gave that to my grandparents? I never read that.
All right, it's still in your room. Okay.
Okay.
You have these psychology books. You have all these videos on serial killers. You have all these books on serial killers.
I have all these books. No, I don't.
So let me.
How many books do I have on?
A guy who reads all that
No,
stuff.
how many books do I have on serial killers? One.
One.
One out of all the other ones. And on top of that,
What's that book called?
it was called American Psycho.
Okay. So on top of that, okay, so you read all this stuff, right?
I read that book, yeah.
What do you do in the morning? Every morning when you get up, what do you do?
I wake up, 6:45. I usually sleep in a little bit. Take a shower, put my contacts in, take a shower. Then I go, you know, sometimes I have my clothes already out. Other times I just, you know, grab my clothes as I go.
You ever put any stuff on your face?
Not usually, I don't have enough time.
Okay. We've done that in the past. It's kind of a routine when you get up in the morning, you put this cream stuff on your face.
Cream stuff.
Mask type stuff.
I've used a mask. I've used a mask pill. It's relaxing for your face.
This is intriguing considering that Patrick Bateman had a very elaborate morning routine that included exercise as well as a multi-step skincare regimen that he followed religiously. Of course, what 16-year-old boy wouldn't enjoy using a calming face mask? Or at least Ethan would like us to believe that he wasn't modeling his own behavior after that of his fictional bloodthirsty idol. It only becomes more eerie from here.
I'll tell you how little studying I've done on actual serial killers. All those books, if you'd like to read through them, one, I'll tell you which books I've read. And two, if you read through them, most of them aren't about killers. Most of them are about the manipulative type. a type that just live on every day. They're everyday citizens, don't get into big trouble.
Okay, which books are these? Which books are these?
The Psychopath books.
Okay.
By Robert D. Hare.
Is there a series on them?
He's the one that actually created the PCLR. It's the psychopathy checklist.
It's ironic that Ethan talks so much about how most of the books he reads are about manipulative people, and he starts to describe himself. He's been playing semantics and going down rabbit holes to avoid talking about the real issue, which is who killed his mother. Even at this point, Ethan is still trying to manipulate the officer and trying to take control of where this is going. However, the officer does a good job staying focused. Ethan's fascination with the criminal mind was of particular notice to his teachers. During one class, Ethan apparently expressed to his fellow students that he was having thoughts of killing. Chillingly, he went on, supposedly claiming that there would be times when the thought was so overwhelming that he was unable to sleep. Ethan reportedly mentioned that he doesn't feel love, or any emotion for that matter, and allegedly confided in 2 separate anonymous sources that he wanted to be a psychopath and a famous serial killer.
Are you ready to discover the secret to affordable premium smokes? Tired of spending an arm and a leg for government tax cigarettes? At Select Smokes, we've got your back. Get your favorite premium brands for as low as $6 a pack and $55 for a carton. And the best part...
In addition, he apparently spoke with one of his classmates, reportedly stating something along the lines of ripping her head off before supposedly laughing in her face.
American Psycho doesn't even have to do with real psychos. You know how false that is from how actual psychopaths are?
I don't know. I've never been on that side.
That guy is he's so perfect and so well-mannered that it's impossible. Most psychopaths are impulsive. They don't respond well to irritability. This guy's too nice and acts good around people, and he's not as manipulative as a natural psychopath is. It's just a book.
It was almost as if he wanted to be exactly like Patrick Bateman. Ethan supposedly began to dress in business suits while carrying a briefcase, just as the fictional character does. But most perplexing was his shift in behavior, as his cold and callous demeanor was something that he wore almost as a badge of honor.
And she would be, in tears and say that, that they'd had an altercation. Generally, it seemed like it was he'd want friends over, and she wouldn't allow it, and just normal stuff that I think that he could push her around and get away with it. I never had any problems like that. A week or so ago, he had kind of a blowout with my, and they've always got along all right, but that was the first time I was aware of seeing it firsthand that, he exploded and was like, she was like, get him out of here, take him home. He said he was homicidal more than once. He had an altercation at school where he was brought to the juvenile detention for hitting a kid or pushing a kid or something. And that's still pending. Like at that time, he had said something like, well, I'll just act psychotic and I'll put me in a mountain. And so, more than once he's threatened or made comment about being committed.
According to police documents, Ethan apparently wished to be committed to a mental institution, but his request was never granted. Although it is unclear if he truly believed that he needed help.
She called me up frantic and said, you're going to have to come and get Ethan because I can't handle him. I'm afraid. I thought she should be overdramatic. She's like, I'm afraid he's going to kill me in my sleep.
Despite Judy's fear, it seemed like no one was listening. However, the shocking information that Ethan is about to divulge will undeniably prove that she had good reason to live in constant fear.
You're a psychopath?
20? Man, as a psychopath, I'd be truly impulsive. I don't get into fights often. I'm not having promiscuous sex. And on top of that, you can't diagnose someone under the age of 18 as a psychopath.
Is there anything else you want to tell me, Ethan? Anything you want to talk about?
Like what?
I'm asking you because I'm getting ready to walk out of here. So I'm giving you the opportunity to anything you want to ask me about today.
I do have to defecate.
I'll arrange for you to go to the restroom here in a second. Okay.
Well, what? No, wait. Okay, so what happened? Okay, how long will I be more in here?
Ethan, I'll be honest with you, okay? You and your mother were in that home, okay?
I already know what you guys' opinion is.
And only you and your mother.
I already know what you guys' opinion is. I'm just asking you. I didn't ask what your opinion was. I already know what it is.
What are you asking?
How long am I gonna be here? And then where am I going from here?
Not much longer.
Not much
I'll
longer.
decide where you're gonna go from here.
Huh?
And I'll decide where you're gonna go from here.
Where's that?
Okay? Well, it's either gonna be in jail or out of here. I think you're going to jail. Okay?
Do I get my own cell?
You're not going to juvenile detention either.
No, do I get my own cell?
I don't know. I don't run the jail. Why do you need your own cell?
Well, no, I just like to be more alone and have to share it with some guy. I could actually get them sleep. I don't have my contacts case either.
Ethan doesn't seem to understand the magnitude of the harrowing situation at hand. His own mother is dead, but he simply doesn't care.
I've been nice, but, you know, I could be mean too.
There's no one's being mean. You don't have to be mean.
No, I don't.
Where does that get you?
But why are you?
Why am I being mean? How am I being mean? By sending you to jail?
No,
Killing your
I
mother?
didn't say. No, for even just accusing me of that. Then telling me that I do these things. Then telling me I'm a liar. And then also, you're telling bud. I can tell when people are mad. Tom tells a big thing.
Trust me, it's not personal. All right? You killed your mother. You'll stand
Keep telling me that.
Tell me the truth, and I can arrange for you to get your own cell. That I can promise you.
There is a law in a few states that is called the Hope of Benefit Clause. Basically, it says that a confession is inadmissible if it was induced by the remotest fear of injury. This is very rare, and it usually involves a statement made after the person is threatened to be physically harmed, or promised that they would receive a lesser sentence if they confess. In this case, Ethan asked for a private cell, and the officer said he would see what he could do. The officer also said, "Tell me the truth and I will give you the cell." However, it's important to remember that the Supreme Court has said that police can lie to suspects, and the officer could be lying. In this case, though, it's not coercion because Ethan said he would tell the truth if he got his own cell, and the officer knows that this is a juvenile case and because of the charges, would get his own cell anyway.
Sure, I guess I did it.
I guess I did or I didn't.
Yeah, you did it.
How did you do it?
A whack in the head.
Okay, how'd you whack her in the head?
Easily.
Okay, how easy was it? All right.
That's how easy it was.
Okay, tell me about it.
What do you want to know?
Start from what started it?
I was up at night. I've been having muscle twitches. I tried to take calm myself down. It was just a calling. It was a growing inside me. I told my psychiatrist, my therapist, that this has been growing inside me my full time. Hey, listen. Child, that's how it happened. It's a growing inside of me.
What's growing inside of you, Ethan?
Chilling.
Killing?
A need for chilling.
This is almost a direct quote from Patrick Bateman. "It's growing inside of me, the need for killing."
And that fostered into you last night with pains in your body?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was. The pain in my body, I don't even know what the hell those were. They weren't even pains, they were just funny aches. Made me off balance.
Okay, so what happened last night? Tell me.
Because I slept late. Couldn't sleep nothing. It just happened from there.
Mom do something to you to make you mad?
Nope.
So you whacked her with the weights where?
I just got the perfect gift for my boyfriend that was 20% off at manscaped.com. Check it out. Shipping.
In the head.
How many times?
I didn't count.
Approximately. Guess.
I don't remember. She kept making, it was either she was making noise or Brains was making noise.
Like what kind of noise?
Is a noise.
A hissing sound?
Kind of a hissing sound. I'm pretty sure it was the freaking brain. Or it's kind of, kind of thing.
Okay. Gurgling?
Kind of,
A gurgling and a hissing sound?
Yeah.
Okay. As you hit her with the weights?
No.
How hard did you hit her? Real hard?
She used just both hands.
Both hands on the end of the dumbbell?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't know how many times? Just real hard?
Yeah, I just whacked her. Yeah. I ended her in one shot to the side of the head. But I wasn't sure if she was going to scream or not.
Okay. One wasn't good enough?
I guess not, because I wasn't sure if she was going to scream or not. I couldn't tell if she was alive or not. Making noises?
Sadly, Judy's worst fear came true, and worse. Ethan doesn't seem to have the least bit of remorse. In fact, it seems that he may have been planning the sickening act all along. Throughout the confessions, he's coming across as arrogant, defiant, and confrontational. But what he's not showing is emotion. Instead, it seems like he's telling this officer that he doesn't care at all, and in fact, he's proud of what he did.
Then I stabbed her.
With what?
A knife.
What knife?
Knife. Charlie, you give me something extra if I tell you where it is?
What else can I give you, man? You want me to stand before... What, man? What else can I give you? I'm giving you your own cell, man.
Do I... So I'm going to have
I'll have my boss call over there as soon as we're done here and make an arrangement for you to have your own cell.
All right. And do I have to... So I'm going to have to go to court. Is this true?
Yeah, you don't have to go to court. That's part of the system.
Charlie, I'm not already guilty?
Well, you still have to go to court and say whether you're guilty or not. I mean, come on, dude,
Do I get some... Wait. Wait. I don't have no things. I ain't got no shavers. I don't have my deodorants or nothing.
We can get you some personal body hygiene stuff.
Yeah, my personal body hygiene.
Your personal stuff?
Can you do that?
What kind of personal hygiene stuff? Come on, I mean,
Armani and Jean-Paul Gaultier. I use them every day.
Ethan was fantasizing about killing someone for quite some time. Authorities would eventually locate his school planner, where they found several drawings of women being horrifically tortured and murdered. In the right-hand corner of one of the pages was a chilling to-do list. It reads, 1. Kill everyone. 2. Cut them into pieces. 3. Fry organs like the heart and brain and see how it tastes. And 4. Heart is an okay organ to eat if fried. It seemed that Ethan wanted to do much more than just commit murder. This is almost identical to the American Psycho movie at the end when the secretary is looking through Bateman's planner.
You said you hit your mom twice with the dumbbell.
More than twice.
More than twice.
I don't know how many times.
Okay.
Did I stab her?
Less than 10? More than 10?
I probably less than 10. I wouldn't have the strength in my body to which is weren't up to that.
Okay.
She's still making noise. I stabbed her in the heart a couple of times.
With what?
The knife.
Which knife? The Winchester knife or a bigger knife?
A special knife.
Okay. What special knife? Where'd you get the special knife?
Yeah. My brother, when he moved into that new house, that house was owned by some crackhead. Those knives were just lying around. He didn't use those.
Okay.
I took that one from him because it was a special butterfly knife with a ring finger.
Okay.
Not many people have much of those. I know how to use a knife real well. But I couldn't get in the angle for the 3-shot kill.
What's the 3-shot kill? What are you talking about?
One right here. One right here. One right here. It's a 1, a 2, and a 3, and you're dead.
All in the same quick motion, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
But you couldn't get that because of the way she was laying. How was she laying?
She's on her side.
Okay.
And she turned over. I stabbed her thought I stabbed her in the heart, because I was checking where my own heart was. And I thought I stabbed around there. Still, there was hissing coming from there. Or gurgling, I don't know what the hell it was. So I stabbed her in the lungs. And I don't know, maybe I slit her throat before I stabbed her in the lungs. I can't remember. I think I stabbed her in the lungs and then slit her throat. A lot of stab wounds there. And they are more than just superficial.
Okay, they're real good, deep stab wounds, is what you're saying?
It's like, I've never seen actual skin be torn apart like that. It's like paper, but worse.
Worse?
Yeah. It's, clay kind of thing, you just spread it apart. That's how it is, kind of elastic. It's weird.
Kind of rip or?
Oh, no, I just went right in there. It just got through there. No problem.
No, pretty sharp butter knife.
Oh,
or butter fly knife.
This thing's a monster. I had the glove over her mouth the whole time. Or what I thought was her mouth.
What glove?
A blind one.
Not sure if you slit her throat?
I thought I did, but I wasn't sure, I tried to make the motion. It's harder than it looks.
Okay. Did you do anything else after that?
I think I whacked her once more time.
What's a dumbbell?
Yeah.
How does the Winchester knife come into it?
It's just a ruse almost.
Okay. So that was just another knife stuck in there. Okay. Where's the butterfly knife?
Very close by. Very, very close by. But on your pass, there's an underpass by the mall.
Okay.
There's a bridge that goes. Mm-hmm. I tried to hook it over a little fence. It didn't even make it over there.
Are you ready to learn the secret to cheap Canadian cannabis? At Bloom Supply, we're more than just an online dispensary.
Unfortunately, the butterfly knife used in the gruesome murder would never be found.
What did you do with your clothes?
What clothes?
Clothes you were wearing when you did this.
They're still on.
Was it the same clothes?
Yeah.
How'd you get the blood off you?
There wasn't no blood.
No blood at all on you?
Charlie, they all got all over my arms.
On your gloves?
Yeah. I made sure it didn't get all over. Though there was some splatters, I got lucky.
What'd you do afterwards?
Afterwards, what?
After you stabbed her and cleaned up?
Cleaned myself up. Put the blanket over, stuff over, fed the dog, cats, gave them their water, put them in that room, put the candle in there. Didn't find no money. She usually keeps it in her purse. I couldn't find that for her. So, just grabbed as many energy drinks I could, grabbed some of my medicine. Just got it all booted up. Walked.
Strangely, Ethan also scattered cat and dog food on Judy's bedroom floor before making his way to his father's house. Ethan murdered his mother in the late night hours of Wednesday, January 24th, but he wouldn't arrive at his father's house until early the next day.
How do you feel about what you did, Ethan?
Nothing.
You don't feel nothing about it?
No.
Feel good about it?
I feel good about it. I told you, I don't feel nothing. I don't regret nothing. I already knew it was going to end this way. I had my guy send him a letter. I didn't know what the letter said. I was supposed to meet with him next week, Friday. Funny thing is, though, he's the psychiatrist at the jail.
Okay.
No, it's fair, huh? It's pretty funny, huh?
Kind of ironic.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, huh? I already told him I've been having, these thoughts, been always there. 8th grade, always there. Always there, just growing inside. Just growing.
Since 8th grade.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been. That's just life. I continue to ask him, can you give me something for impulses? Ridley, you could give me some Ridley. Too little, too late, you know?
Why your mom?
Closest person. I was thinking of going downtown and stabbing a couple of bums too. They're worthless bums. You know what? They live on the street. Make up all these excuses for why they can't work. That shit.
This is another American Psycho movie reference. I thought of going downtown to stab a couple bums. The interrogation has revealed countless ways that Ethan is trying to be the same as Bateman. In the movie, Bateman kills without provocation and purpose. Ethan said that he wasn't provoked by and did not have a specific purpose for killing his mother. Throughout the movie, Bateman tells people of his homicidal thoughts, and Ethan shared his homicidal thoughts with many people as well. Bateman tells people in the movie that he is insane, and Ethan told friends and students he was a psychopath. Bateman states that something horrible is happening inside him and that he cannot explain it, and Ethan made eerily similar statements about something growing inside him and having feelings he cannot explain. After killing, Bateman changes the answering machine to reflect the victim being out of town. After killing, Ethan does the same thing to their answering machine. It's unclear if Ethan even knows which parts of himself are real and which are just trying to copy a fictional character.
Mom was the closest.
Yeah, she was there. I was just gonna leave, but she woke up and heard me leaving because she wakes up quite easily. Then that would have interrupted some plans. So, besides, I was gonna go kill a couple of bums anyway. Why not add to the list?
So she woke up and you were getting ready to leave? No.
No, she was asleep.
She would have woke up, so you're saying.
Yeah, probably.
Got ready to leave, so.
Probably. She probably would have woke up. I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, you know.
Is this all after you're done watching TV?
No, I was trying to go to sleep.
In bed trying to sleep or on a chair trying to sleep?
In bed.
You don't feel bad about what you did at all? You're okay with it?
Buddy, there's things in lives that a lot of people don't understand. I'm one of them. I wasn't meant to be born. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have even been around. I should have been in a hospital most of my life. Or at least a large part of it. For how screwed up I was. It's just called luck. That's just how it is. You know, all this God, this faith thing. Ain't there. Ain't there. You either get lucky, or you don't. And get lucky.
Following the unbelievably shocking and callous confession, Ethan is placed under arrest and taken to jail. Consistent with what we've seen so far, in no way does he even show 1 ounce of regret for his monstrous actions. After taking a closer look into Ethan's home, a mountain of evidence was uncovered. In Ethan's bedroom were 2 toy figures, one of a man holding a chainsaw and a shotgun, while the second was none other than a replica of Patrick Bateman. They also discovered a rolled-up dollar bill with white residue next to his computer. In addition, they also found a blue American body armor ballistic vest in the living room. According to one of the reporting officers, he noted that from his training and experience, it's common behavior amongst many previous school shooters to have owned a vest of this type, while also murdering one or both parents. This discovery led authorities to believe that Ethan may have also been planning a school shooting. Not only that, but investigators located the many films and books that Ethan grew to love. Some of the most notable movies being that of American Psycho, Gacy, Ted Bundy, Dahmer, serial killers, natural-born killers, and The Shining. His book collection included many famous titles, of course American Psycho, but also Bad Men Do What Good Men Dream, The Psychopathic Mind, Snakes and Suits, and Forensics True Crime Scene Investigations. It's clear that American Psycho made the biggest impact on Ethan, and in the end, police shockingly found 25 different ways in which Ethan imitated the character Patrick Bateman. In addition to the previously mentioned similarities, Ethan would also share thoughts of committing a homicide. He would regularly control Judy. He idolized material possessions such as high-brand cologne and body wash. He apparently bragged about having meaningless intercourse. He expressed how he wanted to murder the homeless and how he believed that his friends are stupid. But most eerily of all, the teenager wanted to fulfill his disgusting desire to murder someone in cold blood, and he chose his own mother. In December of 2007, Ethan Wyndham was charged as an adult with first-degree murder. He eventually pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, in 2012, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that life sentences for juveniles were in violation of the Eighth Amendment, where cruel and unusual punishment is prohibited. As a result, in 2019, Ethan was resentenced to 26 years behind bars. He's already served 16. He will be eligible for parole in 2033.
So how do you feel, Kayleen? We haven't done the part that I'm not looking forward to.
My husband's great. He really is. He's very respectful to me. I mean, he spoils me. He takes care of me.
I'm getting pretty close to that time. This is what I got to do. I don't even question it anymore. At this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I may get caught right away. I mean, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point.
Hey guys. Nice, look at all that smoke. Oh my gosh.
Though his family didn't yet know it, something was off with Peter Keller. What follows is found footage that just might be some of the most disturbing recordings ever filmed. Documented like a YouTube video, the video diaries Peter created provide a rare glimpse into the mind of a killer and document how something that may have begun as an innocent hobby ultimately manifested as unbelievable cruelty.
Here, think about stuff. Think about, like, how did I get so...
The majority of the following footage has never been seen before. It has been analyzed by a licensed professional counselor.
Okay. Looks like everything's working. Just checking the camera out. Since it's the first time watching myself, I hate watching myself. It's like, man, that's the way other people see me. So it's gonna take some getting used to. Not used to talking into a camera. Let's see, so here you can look at the trail. There's not much of a trail. I try to keep it as hidden as I can, so other people will stay off of it, which has worked so far. It's pretty far out, so nobody's been up here yet. I usually come up with between a 30 and 40 pound pack. Every time I bring a load of something up, I'm actually starting to get a lot up here. Try to make it as easy as I can during the transition time. So far I've got a bed, blow-up bed, mattress, with blankets and pillows and clothes and stuff to keep me comfortable. So we'll see how long I last doing this. I don't know.
Just what exactly Peter was doing in North Bend, Washington isn't yet clear. It's incredibly rare to have self-recorded footage of a killer, and is especially interesting in this case because the scope of Peter's chilling plans could hardly be imagined from the casual conversations he has with the camera.
Basically come up here on the weekends or on a Friday, weekday, whenever the weather permits, or depending on what I'm doing, at least once a week. And I tend to stay up here for about, well, with travel time, probably around 9 hours a day, or each time, which is a long time.
When he wasn't traversing the wilderness with his camera and dog, 41-year-old Peter was also a father and a husband.
Hey, Dad. Okay, I got this face.
Because you guys won't let me take that many pictures.
He and his wife Lynette had an 18-year-old daughter named Kayleen, and the three appeared to be a normal, happy family.
Are you videotaping her?
Yep. Let's do a lot of videotape, and then I just cut all the junk out.
However, Peter's mysterious project in the woods would eventually take a terrible toll on his day-to-day life.
Kayleen Keller.
All right, so how do you feel, Kayleen?
No more high school, yay!
Feel different? No?
You don't feel different? You got a new life ahead of you. No more freaking school. Well, high school.
Yeah, you got till tomorrow to get your stuff out of the house. So.
No, she's staying with us forever. Sorry, Carson. Forever.
Kayleen graduated high school just a few months after her father started recording his video diaries, and was on track to start at Bellevue College in the fall. In addition to her interest in environmental preservation and gaming technology, she also appears to have shared her father's interest in cameras and dabbled in the hobby of videotaping as well.
Can you take a picture of me and sell me on eBay?
I'm so sorry.
What are you doing?
Bella could have used your support. I came straight from the airport as soon as I heard. Yeah, better let them number. Honey, please.
Come on, talk.
Lynette also sometimes used the camera to film videos she uploaded to YouTube.
You deserve the truth. The enemy is at our gates. Their numbers are overwhelming. Any Marine who makes this stand with us will not survive the day.
Hi everyone. My little puppy's looking outside. Okay, I got a lot of stuff to show you guys that I'm going to put in my store. I'm so excited. This is bag 2. And I had so much fun making these too. You guys got a lot of products in here.
But I want to first show you, look at Dino. He just got a haircut a couple days ago. My husband was like, he's looking too scruffy.
I am a very shy person, and doing these videos really helps me open myself, because I figured if somebody doesn't want to watch it, then don't watch it. I'm not forcing you to. So these videos really help, and he really helped me.
While Peter worked to refurbish computers, Lynette struggled with medical issues, and as a result, wasn't able to work full-time.
My husband, a few months ago, went out and bought me this big recliner for my back, and I just now starting to use it. He's so happy. Usually I just sit on the left seat. I love this chair. He's here. He's supporting me. He takes care of me. Even though I can't go back to work and I'm home in pain all the time, he gave me my scrapbooking room with my dream come true.
She made and sold custom paper flowers and shared her scrapbooking hobby in local fairs to bolster the family's income.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Pretty much this is my anniversary present. I'm so thankful that my husband was able to give me that so I could stock up on supplies for me. And I also got some stuff for you guys too. Even my husband was looking at this and was just like, oh my gosh, look at the detail.
From an outside perspective, it appeared that although the family faced challenges, they were sticking together and making things work. But as later events would reveal, all wasn't going as well as it appeared.
Yeah, you can watch me open this thing. This thing's always so heavy, but works good.
This impressive structure, affectionately nicknamed Camp Keller, was what kept Peter occupied in the woods for so long. Disguised as part of the hillside, the only thing that might give its presence away is a temporary tarp stretched over part of the roof, but Peter took care to conceal that with brush.
This is something I wanted to do. probably since I was a teenager, to make a home underground somewhere so I didn't have to live around people. One of my projects today is to take all this wood that I've cut up recently and stack it up, pull it down, so if somebody stumbles out here, it not as noticeable. It's just now I have the means and I'm able to actually pay for it. I've spent a lot of money on this so far, thousands of dollars. Thousands more on guns and other stuff, other hardware I'm going to need. Everything I can think of.
The bunker was a shocking feat of engineering, considering all of Peter's supplies were either gathered from the forest around him or carried in from his house, which was about an hour's hike away.
This is kind of an outside look. My wood pile on this side.
In addition to the tools and materials he needed to build the bunker, Peter carried a significant amount of food, drinks, and creature comforts into the camp. He brought enough to set up a kitchenette, complete with an emergency vodka stash. The entire complex was powered with a generator, which Peter somehow managed to bring up the mountain. He even went out of his way to engineer a wood-burning stove made out of an inverted metal garbage can. He rigged a chimney to funnel the smoke up and out of the residence. This smoke would ultimately provide a valuable clue as to the camp's location. Other highlights of Peter's stash include multiple 5-gallon buckets, which could not have been easy to move, heavy-duty chains, and a hacksaw. But as impressive as the wilderness construction may be, the question remains as to why Peter built it in the first place.
I just feel like I'm getting knocked back every time financially. My wife is just gonna suck all the money out that I have.
And I'm so excited because I can actually afford these deals. My husband, he gave me some money to go in here, so I'm like so excited.
All right, I'm getting ready to move one of these big beams in. This thing is pretty heavy. It's soaked with water, which makes them very heavy, makes it a real bitch.
Let's see. I met him when I was in high school, but I just, wasn't interested. And then I met him again, and he was so sweet. We became like best friends. He said one of these days he wanted to get married and have kids, and he asked me what I wanted, and I said, I don't ever want to get married. So then my sister, we were getting along at the time, she really liked him, and she said, well, you gotta just, you're gonna regret it if you don't. So I was like, okay. Then 3 months later, he started talking to me about marriage. And I was like, dude, I told you I don't want to get married. Stop pressuring me. We've only officially been together for 3 months. He actually started within a month. And I was just like, no, you got to stop. So finally, a little over 3 months, he asked me to marry him. I was like, of course I'll marry you. And I grabbed the ring and put it on my finger. I was just so excited.
This mistake is costing Amazon Prime shoppers big. Are you still using Prime? Because
Jesus Christ, God damn it.
That's my story of my husband, who is my husband, who's the love of my life.
At this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I may get caught right away. I mean, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point. So I don't think anyone knows where I'm at. But if they put it together, who knows? At this point, I have to take that chance. So it's just going to be a point of, go as far as I can. I do have my escape, and that's death. And I'm okay with that. So I'm getting to the point where just trying to live and pay bills and live as a civilian and go to work.
He's a great guy. He he stuck around with me. I'm some guys are kind of leave when you get that, it's part of your vows. But anyways, I don't want to get on to that.
It just freaks me out. It's actually more comfortable for me to think about living out here, robbing banks, pharmacies, just taking what I want for as long as I can. At least it'll be exciting. It won't be boring. And I don't have to worry about Lynette or Kayleen. And everything will be taken care of. It'll just be me.
Peter's complaints are all too common, but could indicate the presence of major depressive disorder. Additionally, Peter is doing a lot of fidgeting in this video, signifying that despite what he's saying out loud, his thoughts might be giving him a lot of anxiety. Perhaps this stems from the fact that, as some of Peter's cryptic comments hint, there's a much darker aspect to his fantasy than he lets on.
Well, I wanted to get a video log in because we haven't done part that I'm not looking forward to. I'm getting pretty close to that time. I'm guessing probably a couple months away, maybe 3. So yeah, I know I can, once I do this, I could either die then, maybe something will happen, or a few days or weeks, or maybe even years. My goal is to make it 10 years, but that's the other hard part. It's either to not care about dying and to still care about the project.
Peter's comment that he wants to survive for 10 years out in the woods complicates an already strange situation even further. He isn't just aiming to leave his day-to-day life and job behind. There are Lynette and Kayleen to think about, and so far, he hasn't shown any interest of bringing them along on his adventure.
Go ahead and open this. Oh my goodness. You are so sweet, you guys. Sorry I'm whispering. My husband's sleeping and our little doggy's sleeping with him. Last time I was doing a video, I was talking too loud and he woke up and came out here.
Part of me has a hard time even imagining doing what I'm going to do, but as I think about it, I always come up to the same conclusion every time. I'm starting to get more okay with it. Other times I feel like I'm more than ready. I've tried to make it in this world and it just isn't happening. I'm 40 now and I am running out of time. I don't even question it anymore. It just seems like everything makes so much sense now. Just the more I've thought about it, the more I understand it. I don't really feel bad about it. It's just the way it is. Certain things happen that cause this to happen. So, just kind of accepted it and just rolling with it. Well, this is it. Home sweet home. Got the lantern going so you can see a little bit, not a lot. I often wonder if what I'm doing is the right thing, and I think it is.
These statements, though shocking, actually align with the earlier theory that Peter was suffering from a serious depressive disorder.
As I do this for hour on hour, it's like I just sit there and think about stuff. How did I get so f***ed up? How did so many things go wrong? think it's all my fault. I think it's more my upbringing, family life. I was just too ugly. Nobody cared.
Peter's recollection of feeling off also supports the depression theory, as it's common for symptoms to emerge during adolescence. Additionally, it's known that individuals with unresolved trauma can become stuck developmentally. This could very possibly be what happened to Peter, as he previously mentioned that he'd wanted to build a camp like this since he was a teen. If he became emotionally stuck at that point in his life, it could explain his apparent resentment for his family, along with the continued desire to depart from society.
Yeah, basically last year has been really tough on me. I've been coming to terms, realizing just how pathetic I am. And there's just no hope. But it's tough. Wasn't interested in anything anymore. Couldn't motivate myself. All I did was work on this. This is the only thing that would make me feel better. But I think I've come to terms with it. Starting to feel better now. Not quite sure why exactly. If it's just that I'm getting this further along, or maybe I've just come to terms with what I am, my situation, and kind of working through it. You know, I've tried. I always keep going back to the same person I am. I guess it's also because I don't have anything. I never did. No money. My looks are horrible.
My husband actually gave me some money, and I was going to go out and buy some of these, but I'm going to go buy ink instead. Oh my gosh. So awesome. Sorry, I'm trying not to get too excited because my husband's going to be like, what are you doing?
No personality. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's just I understand now very clearly. This is the only thing I have.
It's just a single pick, but you know, we all add single pick. Sorry, my dog's being crazy. My husband's probably chasing him around the living room. I know, my husband spoils me. He hates seeing me in pain, so tonight he came home and he gave me another $20 because he knows I'm going to the doctor's tomorrow and he wants me to stop at Michael's and get some more stuff.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before the end. This is going to be my last video, probably before till after that.
It can get worse.
That's terrible.
I wanted to give some items for my mom and some other items, but I just want to show you this. Psst, Dino. Psst. Sorry, my husband's home. Dino.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before I finally drop out of society and start this project.
Sorry. The cute little puppy, right? So these are the items that are in there now. They're hard plastic. Stop.
Well, it's about 2 weeks before we finally drop out of society, fully commit to this. This is probably going to be my last video till after that.
Here we can see that Peter actually does retakes instead of being fully candid, like other videos suggest. This, along with the comments he's made about his appearance, seem to indicate that Peter cares deeply about how people view him. The retake suggests he's purposely curating how he appears to anyone who views these tapes. He wants to make the best possible impression. Again, this could tie back to major depressive disorder and childhood trauma. Teenagers often act as though they have what's known as an invisible audience, the idea that people are watching them all the time and judging their looks and actions. From what we see in the videos, Peter seems to still be acting like this at age 41. This type of behavior can also be found in individuals with narcissistic tendencies. The question of Peter's intentions would be one of the first mysteries police faced when they became involved in the situation on April 22, 2012. It was a quiet day in the mobile home park where the Keller family lived when, seemingly out of nowhere, several neighbors heard what they believed to be an explosion. When they saw flames coming out of the windows of the Keller home, the neighbors summoned the fire department. Firefighters swarmed the home, climbing on top of it, even as the blaze ate through the roof. They had no idea just how seriously they were risking their lives until later. Once the fire was doused and investigators entered the residence, they discovered Peter Keller was nowhere to be found. Iwu spoke with Cindy West, a retired police sergeant who worked on the Keller case, in an exclusive interview.
I was actually the public information officer, and I think it was a weekend, because I was actually heading out of town and I got the phone call. So I turned around, came back into town, and arrived up there in North Bend, and then the investigation started there. And as the investigation went on, it just snowballed from what the heck happened to, wow, this is bigger than I think anybody thought at the start.
For those of you who aren't familiar, a public information officer handles all inquiries about an active case, providing private citizens as well as the media with information that's been approved for release. As such, Cindy was intimately familiar with the inner workings of the Keller case. The day of the fire, tracking down Peter became the police's highest priority. In just a few hours, they located his vehicle parked downtown. The keys were left inside, but there was no evidence as to where he might have gone. When they entered his workplace to ask where Peter might be, all his co-workers could offer was that Peter had already left for the day and had stated that he might be back tomorrow, next week, or possibly never. Police also discovered that Peter had recently withdrawn $6,200 from the family bank account. Everything suggested that Peter was either in danger, running, or both. For now, police had no idea where he could be hiding. But they weren't clueless for long. Police got lucky when searching Peter's home and unearthed a hard drive containing Peter's video diaries. Combined with what else was discovered in the residence, the investigation went from serious to downright bone-chilling.
Well, before, a while ago, I used to sit here and think, this whole thing is just crazy at times, and then I'd think about it and it would make sense, and it's like, okay, this is what I gotta do.
Peter's decisiveness in this clip, paired with the horrific details of what police had found in the remains of his home, would likely be shocking to even the most seasoned law enforcement official. They were at a complete loss when it came to explaining how and why this had happened. Only time would reveal the haunting truth. When it came to the video entries, they supplied more than just a record of Peter's thoughts. As it turned out, other entries in the video diary and the accompanying photographs would become the key to tracking Peter. Retired Sergeant Cindy West was able to share the creative technique the police ended up using.
They had photographs that Keller had taken on the mountainside as he's constructing this bunker, from nothing's there to a little bit more to a little bit more. In one of the photos, you can see, I couldn't see it, it looked like a power line in the distance. So you're looking off the mountain toward, which would be North Bend, the city. You can barely see this power line and something else. Again, I didn't think it was a power line, but our detective Mike Mellis says, I think that's a power line. I think that down there is probably the city. And then according to these other photos, there's a couple streams nearby. So he does a lot of investigation and says, well, it's got to be in one of these 2 points then. And I'm like, I don't know how he came up with that, but he was exactly right.
Combined with reports of Peter's truck being regularly parked at a specific trailhead, this was enough information for police to start canvassing the area to search for Camp Keller. It took 6 days, but eventually they succeeded. The smoke visible in this footage came from Peter's makeshift chimney and was instrumental in leading the police to Camp Keller. However, rushing in and making an arrest wasn't going to be an option. They had no idea how many people might be inside or what their intentions were.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, and as you know, today I stand before you not merely as a speaker, but as a fervent advocate for a transformative journey, the journey of investing in platforms that unlock doors to financial growth.
Remember, Peter had been stockpiling weapons and ammunition at home, and thanks to his videos, which were discovered when police reviewed the recordings that were not destroyed in the house fire, they knew he likely had firearms at his camp. Little did they know what else they would uncover. They also knew that there was a chance they could be dealing with a hostage situation. A direct approach could endanger Peter's life if he was being held captive, or spook him if he had hostages of his own. They needed to make whoever was inside come to them.
You guys on the number 3 side, can you get to that window and break it out or throw a gas in there?
Brian, there looks like a slot or a window that's propped open in the back, directly towards the dirt wall, but I couldn't see it. He's got something over it. Maybe you guys can throw a log through it or something.
But if we throw a number 2 in that ditch, it should cycle right up into the tarp, should push it right into the structure.
That's exactly what they decide to do. The response team keeps the bunker surrounded in the hopes that the gas canister will drive those inside out of the bunker and straight to the waiting forces. But after about 10 minutes, nothing has changed.
Yeah, it's dissipating finally. The first one you sent in is dissipating. You want me to throw a 98 under the window, the open window where we first gassed? Yeah, if you can do it from your position.
With the gas canisters having no effect, the team is forced to reconsider their tactics.
So for planning purposes, if this gas isn't going to work, we may have the command post try and locate like a wildlands fire pump and hose that can pump a large volume of water into this place, Greg. Okay. I think we could probably utilize this creek. We just need enough hose and a pumping station to get it, up to where we want it.